So, good morning, children. I'm here with the next topic. I hope all of you are fine and taking care of the advices for the lockdown. And at the same time, you're taking care of your studies also. So, to help you out, come here with the next topic, that is continuous charge distributions. Okay. See, till now we have discussed about the how to find a force and how to find the electric field intensity due to point charges. But other than point charges, suppose as there is a distribution of charge. Suppose you have got a charged rod, or you have got charged seat. You have got a suppose you've got a cube or a sphere or cone, okay, solid cone, okay, which is charged. Then obviously the charge is distributed throughout the body. In these cases we require this continuous charge distribution. This is required, okay. And now this continuous charge distribution is of how many types? You can see here it is of three types: linear charge distribution, second is surface charge distribution, and third is volume charge distribution. Now what is linear charge distribution and what is it actually? Let us discuss that first. See, when we are talking about the linear charge distribution, no, so it is the when the charge is present on a one dimensional body. It's like a rod. A rod is said to be one dimensional body. Suppose it has got certain charge. Okay. Suppose its length is L and total charge present on it is Q. Okay. So what do we find out? Linear charge distribution. We call it also linear charge density. Okay. This is also known as linear charge density. Linear charge density, which is denoted by lambda, okay, and its SI unit is coulomb per meter. Now see, on length L how much charge is present? Q. So on unit length how much charge will be present? Obviously it will be Q upon L, and that is equals to lambda. In differential form you can write lambda is equals to dq upon dl. This you can write in differential form. Okay. So basically the linear charge density is for the one dimensional body, like a rod whose length and width is negligible with respect to its length. Okay. Now when it comes to the surface charge density or surface charge distribution, then obviously we are going to consider a two-dimensional body. Okay, like second one is surface charge density. Surface charge density actually it is denoted by sigma. Okay, and for this, suppose there is a two-dimensional body. Okay, this is two-dimensional body having surface area S and charge on it is Q. So total charge is Q. So Q is the charge present on, or I should say, total surface area S carry how much charge? Q charge. So unit surface area will carry how much charge? Q upon S. Okay, and that is called surface charge density. So sigma is equals to Q upon S. S is the surface area. Okay, this is the formula. And from here you can get the unit. Charge has got the unit coulomb, and surface area has the unit meter square, SI unit. So SI unit is coulomb per meter square. Okay, this is your SI unit. SI unit is coulomb per meter square. Okay, that's what we get. Now, for a case of three-dimensional body like a cube, solid sphere, okay, solid cylinder, solid cone, for that, okay. we use the word volume charge density. Volume charge density. And for that what we require, here suppose a three-dimensional body is there and it is denoted by a rho, RHO rho. You know, you are very well aware about this because you have used the symbol for density also. So suppose we have got here a three-dimensional body. Q charge is there and its volume is V. So V volume has how much charge? Q. So unit volume will have how much charge? Q upon V. So what we can write? Rho is equals to Q upon V. In differential form you can write rho is equals to dQ upon dV. And its SI unit will be coulomb per meter cube, because charge has got unit coulomb and volume has got meter cube. So SI unit is coulomb per meter cube. Okay. Now, how to use this in order to find the force? Let us discuss that. First we will discuss for force. Okay. So suppose there is a wire is there which has got charge over it, and linear charge density is lambda. At a point P you want to find out the force exerted by this. Okay, here you have kept place the charge Q naught. Okay, now suppose the distance from here to here it is R. Okay, you have chosen a small length dl. Okay, this length is dl. So now what you have to do, the medium is air. Okay, air is the medium. So what we can do, we can write the formula. F is equals to K Q naught. We require this Q. Okay. So as the linear charge density is lambda, so that means charge on a unit length is lambda. So what is the charge on length dl? So that will be, obviously it is small length, so it will carry small charge, and that dq charge will be equals to lambda dl. Okay. So first we can write here dq, that is small charge, r square. That's what we can write. And then we can replace this value of dq from here. So F is equals to K Q naught lambda dl upon r square. Okay, and obviously this will be small force. Okay, this will be small force because of small charge. Okay, we have taken small part, it carries only small charge. So if you want to find out F, then you need to integrate this K Q naught lambda dl upon r square. Okay, this we need to integrate, and we will integrate, then you will get the result. Okay, in the same way, now for a charged two-dimensional body, we can write the expression for the force. I will write for you. Suppose a body is there which has got surface charge density. Suppose a surface is there, its surface charge density is sigma. So, and at a distance r, suppose there is another charge Q naught, and you want to find out the force between them. Then what will happen? You have to take a small surface here, ds. Okay, and similarly df will be equal to K Q naught, and here it will be dq upon r square. Now again dq will be here what? We know that dq upon ds is equals to sigma. So from here dq is equals to what? Sigma ds. That's what we get. dq is equal to sigma ds. So we can put this value over here. So what we will get? df is equals to K Q naught sigma ds upon r square. This will be there, and so f is equals to how much? Again you can put the integration k q naught sigma ds upon r square. This is for two-dimensional body. Okay. Similarly, in case of a three-dimensional body, what you have to do? For case of three-dimensional body, suppose a volume is there. Okay. You have to choose a small volume out of it, and suppose this is dv and total volume is v. At a distance r, a charge q naught is there, and you want to find out the force in them. So what you have to do? Again, f is equals to k q naught, okay, dq, force is df upon r square. Now what is dq? From here you can write, you know very well, that is rho is equals to dq upon dv. So from here you can write dq is equals to how much? Rho dv. Okay, so this value of dq I can put here. What will get? K q naught rho dv upon r square. That is our df. In order to find out the net force, what we need to do? Integrate this k q naught rho dv upon r square. Okay, that is there. This is the for three-dimensional body, and we can integrate it and according to the given condition, and we can get the results. So in this way we can find out the force due to the uniformly charged bodies on a given point charge. Okay, now after this what we will discuss? We will discuss that how can we find the electric field. Okay, so for electric field, again we will discuss about this. Okay, so for one-dimensional body, what we will do? Suppose a one-dimensional body is there. Okay, here suppose this is a wire is there. Okay, which is charged, and you want to find out the electric field at this point P, which is at distance r. Okay, from your chosen small part dl. Okay, and its linear charge density is lambda. So what we can do? We can write the expression like this. We know that k q instead of q, write dq upon r square. Now what is dq? Already we know, we have discussed in case of force, it will be lambda dl. So we can write k lambda dl. This will be obviously dE, okay, upon r square. Now if you want out net electric field intensity at point P, then you need to upon r square. Okay, this way you have to calculate. Now this is for one-dimensional body. In case of two-dimensional body, what we need to do? In case of two-dimensional body, suppose there is a two-dimensional body. Okay, we have to take small surface having area ds, surface area ds. Okay, whole surface area is s. Suppose from here at distance r, there is a point P where we have to find out the electric field intensity. So again we can use E is equals to, rather dE is equals to k dq upon r square, and again we know that dq is what? Dq is sigma, because surface charge density is sigma ds upon r square. This is our dE. So E will be how much? E will be integration of k sigma ds by r square. In this way we can get the electric field intensity due to a charged two-dimensional body. Now it comes to the three-dimensional body. Okay, for a charged three-dimensional body, suppose this is the charged three-dimensional body is there. Okay, its volume is V and charge density is rho, okay, and we have taken a small volume here, and at a distance r there is a point P at which we want to find out the electric field intensity. So what we need to do, again we will do a similar thing, that is E is equals to, rather dE is equals to K dQ upon r square, and that dQ again we can write like this, it is rho dV upon r square, this is again dE, and if you want to find out net electric field intensity, then you have to integrate this rho dV by r square. This is there for a three-dimensional body. Okay. So now next we are going to start electric field due to a charged circular loop at its axial point. Okay. So here we are going to use it. Okay. That is a charge distribution one. Okay. So here is you can see a circular loop is there which is charged. Okay. And the surface charge density on this loop is, it is, you can see it is a linear one. So linear charge density is lambda. Okay. Now see, we have, this is called axis of this circular loop. On this axis at a distance x, we have chosen a point P. At this point P only we are supposed to find the electric field intensity. Okay. Now see, here I have taken a small length dl, because see our formula for electric field as well as for force, both are applicable for point charges, but this is extended charge. So we have to divide this extended charge body into point charges so that we can apply our formula. Okay. So I have taken a small part dl. Now whatever charge is present on dl, due to that it is a positive charge. Suppose you place a unit positive charge over here in order to determine the direction of electric field. So what will happen? Whatever charge is present on this small length dl, that will repel this unit positive charge. So what will happen? Its electric field will be directed like this. I am writing dE. Do you know why? Because it is due to a small charge which is present on this small length. Okay. Now, if this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. If this angle is also theta, then dE can have two components, that is dE cos theta and here dE sin theta. Okay. But again, one more thing we know, that this circular loop is there, and we know that circle is a symmetric figure. Symmetric means about the diameter if you will fold, then what will happen? First half will coincide with the second half. So in this case what we have to do, we have to take a small length here also, and due to that again this will also repel the test charge placed at here. So the electric field will be directed like this. Again this will also be why? Because see, this distance is radius, that is a, this is x for this also. So this distance will be how much? Square root of a square plus x square. This distance is also square root of a square plus x square. So both the distances are same, length is same, charge is distributed uniformly, so both the dl length will have same charge, so electric field also will be same. That's why I am writing dE. Okay. Again see, if you consider this triangle, if you consider, so in this triangle what will happen? No, these two sides are equal, so angles opposite to them will also equal. Okay. Now, and this is 90 degree. These angles are equal, these angles are 90 degree. So obviously these angles are also supposed to be equal. As these angles are also supposed to, suppose this is theta, this will be also theta. Okay. Again this, for this dE you will have dE cos theta here, dE cos theta, and dE sin theta here, dE sin theta upward. Okay. So these are the components of electric field we have got. Now just see, dE sin theta, you can see they are equal and opposite, so the vertical components will balance each other. Okay. And therefore net electric field will be there due to the horizontal components only, because they are directed along the same direction, like along this. So what we can write, net electric field we have to find out. So before finding net electric field, we need to find out the cos theta, value of cos theta. So from here, if this is theta, cos theta will be what? Base by hypotenuse. Base is this one, that is x. Hypotenuse is a square plus x square. Okay. So from here, what you can get from diagram? From diagram, cos theta is equals to x by square root of a square plus x square. That's what we got. So that we can put over there. Okay. Now I'm going to remove this. So net electric field will be due to horizontal components only. So E is equals to, or D is equals to dE cos theta plus dE cos theta. Okay, that we can write. See, either we can take both or we can take one. If you are taking both, that means you are starting to cover this ring from two sides, from here as well as here. And then you have, how much you have to move to complete the circle? Only 180 degree. And if you are taking only one, so you have to cover whole circle. So you can take any one. Suppose you want to take one, okay, better you take one. Okay. Now, if you want to find out total electric field intensity E, then you have to integrate this dE cos theta. For that, what you have to do? See, we have to write dE. What is cos theta? Cos theta is x upon square root of a square plus x square. Okay. Now, what is the value of dE? That we have to write here. So for that, what we have to do? See, dE, it is the k q, that is obviously dq, small charge, upon distance was how much? A square plus x square whole square, that was there. But what is dq? It is linear charge density. So what we can write? K dq is lambda dl upon, here if you square, then what you will get? A square plus x square, that's what you will get. Okay. So this is the value of dE. This value you have to put over here. So this we can write as equation number 1, and this we can write equation number 2. Okay. So from 1 and 2. From equations 1 and 2. E is equals to integration k lambda dl upon a square plus x square x upon square root of a square plus x square. Now, square root means what? Power total to the power half. And here, what is the power, total power? 1. So 1 plus half, because bases are same, so we can add the powers. So 1 power of this and half power of this. We will get how much? We will get 3 by 2. That is 1 and half. So k lambda dl x upon a square plus x square whole 3 by 2. That's what we will get. So we are going to get 3 by 2. As we got 3 by 2, now see, there is a time to integrate. E is equals to k lambda, which is constant. Now, x is also constant, so a square plus x square whole 3 by 2 is a constant. We need to integrate dl, and dl will be integrated from, as we taken single, so we have to integrate it from 0 to 2 pi a, because the total circumference is 2 pi a, because radius is a. So what we will get? We will get obviously 2 pi a from here. So we will get k lambda x upon a square plus x square 3 by 2 into 2 pi a. That's what we got. Now we can put the value here like this. Suppose we will put the value of k. So E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, okay, and lambda x into 2 pi a upon a square plus x square 3 by 2. From here can we cancel pi? Can we cancel this from 2? We can cancel this 4 and we will get 2. So we are left with E is equals to lambda x a upon 2 epsilon a square plus x square 3 by 2. This we get. Okay. So if the charge is positive, then it will direct it away from the center. Okay. Okay. So we know that, but we know that lambda linear charge density is q by L. But what is L? Length of the ring or circular loop. Length of the circular loop is how much? 2 pi a, its circumference. So q upon 2 pi a. We can put at the place of lambda q by 2 pi. A will cancel out. 2 into 2, 4 pi and epsilon. So q by 4 pi epsilon. Here x will left and this is there. A square plus a square x square whole raised to the power 3 by 2. So this expression we get. Okay. Now, so this is the expression for electric field. Okay. Due to a charged circular loop or ring at a point, axial point at a distance x from its center. Now, if we consider for direction, then for q is greater than 0, that means it is positive. What will happen? Is directed along axis away from the center. And for q is less than 0, that is negative, E is directed along axis towards center. Okay, so you can find out the direction in this way. Okay, this is the magnitude, and in this way you can find out the direction in different cases depending on the nature of the q. If q is positive, then you can find out the direction this way. It is directed away from the center. If q is negative, then it is directed towards the center. Now, the special case we are going to discuss. For the special case, what we will do? Case 1. At center of loop. If you go to the center, then what will happen? X will become 0. So at center, what will get? X is equals to 0. So you can replace here x equal to 0. What you will get? E is equals to 0. Okay, so electric field intensity is 0 at the center. Okay, now case 2, at far point. At far point, what will happen? X will be much greater than A, and therefore what we will get? A square plus x square will be approximately equals to x square, and therefore E is equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon x by x square 3 into 3 by 2. This 2 will cancel out. We will have x cube, and from x cube this x will cancel out, so we will get x square. That means we will get E is equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon. Okay, and here we will get what? X square. That's what you will get. Okay, so you can see here I have used epsilon. Okay, that's I have done. I have adopted the general way. If it is case of free space, no, then everywhere what you can do, you can replace this epsilon by epsilon naught for free space. So what you will get here in this case? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. You can see here this is for a point charge. That means from a far point, no, even a charged ring appears to be a point object. Okay, and that's why you can see the formula which is applied here or coming here, we are getting here, that is similar to that for a point object. Okay, so that is there. We have found out the electric field intensity due to a charged ring. Okay, so till the next video, thank you to all of you, and God bless you all.